happy when I
Ça
saw
va,
that.
je me réveille,
And then you get
à peu
Oh,
près
yeah.
5-6 heures du matin,
first 7 I
à
took for
regarder
this person.
These guys didn't fool around, they didn't try to capture them.
il
or anything.
va se coucher, puis il va se
Because they weren't
lever.
in
He
it.
deserved it.
À peu près
And
3
it was
He deserved a lot more than that.
Right, your personal days don't carry over.
Lose them or lose them.
I was the one
I
that
used
did that too, I was a special forces,
Right.
special forces.
Monsieur,
You said you were, yeah, you said you were in the military, you were special forces.
on y aperçoit.
It was a short.
Remember where you were? On the
These
top.
guys were all monsters.
Yeah, really.
These are medic.
And I was standing in a
Oh,
classroom
okay.
in a high school. watching
All right, guys.
the
They'll see.
Sorry for the delay. Sorry to interrupt, guys. 7:07, let's call this regular meeting of Canterbury Board of Finance to order. Got Matt, Joy, Mike, Jason, Rob. We'll ask we'll ask Jeanette please to sit. Give us a 6 tonight. Thanks, Jen. Pledge of allegiance. Hand over here. Yep, you're good, Rob.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We've got some minutes with a lot of line item transfers. This was, Joy, maybe you can confirm, 'cause I had either emailed, I think I emailed you the list we were working on, so it's copy pasted from that. Yep. Lori, did these look right to you? I mean, not right, but I mean, you did everything, we got everything you needed
I believe so, yes.
that night.
Yes.
Anything else on the agenda, or excuse me, in these minutes?
Can I ask
Otherwise-
a question about it, even though I wasn't here?
Yeah, please.
Okay, well, I won't be voting, I'll be abstaining, but, there's a lot of money movement. Did you guys actually cross-check what was going on when you?
Yes.
You did, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Painstakingly?
Yes.
That's what I
I
like.
think it,
Jeanette, basically what we did was we moved it within the same cluster, like if something was over in the tax collector, and we still had money left in another tax collector item, we just moved it to cover it.
Because there seems to be a lot of, like, deficiency areas. Is that because they were under budgeted, or are you readjusting to new, bookkeeping?
No, I just think,
We've never had this many.
well, so
well, they never did it that way before.
that's part of, I mean, maybe you can explain, because I think that's part of why we were getting some deficiencies in the audit. Is this right?
No,
This has nothing to do with that?
another, no, this is more, I don't know how you load the budget, because I don't think what she loads technically ties to our estimated or we sign off on.
It did,
It
and it
did?
doesn't balance, Joy.
Okay,
It never balances any year.
so it would just be over expenditures per budget, and they're just moving the budget around. That'll help us in the future. I'm just not sure why that happened.
Which I
Because we haven't, I don't recall doing it like this. in
We've,
the
we've
previous
never
years.
had this much moved. You know, we get like, he comes in every now and then and says, I need 5 from here, put it over there, and we're like, oh, okay, if you got the 5, we'll move it. But not to the extent of this.
Well,
It's like,
in
you know-
previous years, I was told what they did was they just recoded the invoice,
Well now,
so that we didn't have to move the money.
So I think now it's cleaner because it's the actual expenses left alone and the budget's moved within the categories to accommodate it. So when we go to do and look at the budget for the next year, we're gonna have an actual,
You're saying we never saw those, if they were moved out to another code, we'd just lose it? Like, we
well,
would-
what she's saying is instead of moving the budget reclass, they just coded the invoice to an expense line that had budget money in it.
okay, so when we go and look at waste removal, next year when we start in December, we're at, oh my God, when we start in December, we'll actually see that this is how much was spent.
Yeah.
Oh, so we didn't have, so based on not having done this and the recoding or whatever, You're saying we wouldn't have seen that?
We would
Numbers
see
would
No,
be
you
much
wouldn't.
better aligned.
Okay,
No, we
we'll
would've never
actually
knew
see
it.
actual expenditures
never
coming up in
known.
the
Right,
next
because
they were
budget
in
that
line
they
with budget.
create.
Wow.
Right. I would say that the expenditures are more accurate
Yes.
because we left the expenditure alone
And move the
and
budget.
we moved money just to cover it. The auditors don't like to see them all over.
No, and then they just recoded, okay, so now, moving forward, we're actually cleaned up the budget.
Because we use actual expenses.
Yeah,
So if they were moving invoices around, we didn't have good numbers.
That's what I was told happened in the past,
Oh, I'm sure it did.
but
that would
Sounds like-
explain why all of a sudden
Yeah.
we have like this plethora of,
Because I heard we had some line item transfers and I thought, phew. And
Oh,
then-
yeah, we skipped for a
Then we saw
while.
the page and then there was more, right?
yeah.
It turns
When
out
we
it's
started-
30s.
When we started doing them, I was like, really?
Right.
the only thing we heard was that we might come up 36,000 short on the waste
Right.
removal.
And we did,
We did, I see that,
Yeah.
we didn't see all the others.
Mm.
All right, so at least going forward,
some of them are very little though.
Yeah,
I
there was some
understand that.
small
I
ones.
understand
Yeah,
that.
like one was like, I wanna say $70 would move between phone and data
Oh, it's like
processing or
200 here,
something.
that, yeah.
Like some of them were truly small.
$9.94.
Okay, yeah.
It's $1. I mean, there's really small ones in there.
Well, yeah,
Okay, so that means that come the next budget we're at, when they put down what we actually expenditured, it's going to be accurate
That's what it sounds like.
for that
well, then when Patty and Chris sit down to
create.
create the budget, they'll have the actual expenses from the last year.
And they can forecast a more accurate.
Right.
Right.
All right,
Especially if the waste management company says they're gonna go up another 2% or something. I mean, then we actually have the actual expense of what we spent the previous year.
yeah. How much did the town give back? After all this,
Otherwise, I didn't even look. I'd have to look at it.
it was just startling to see that since I wasn't here listening to it. Thank you.
Now, we're just trying to get all our ducks in a row, getting ready. We just gave the link to the CPA firm. So they're gonna go into QuickBooks Online themselves.
Alright, I had to send you the, so I reconciled their ending audited financial balances by your account. And you sent me the link to go in to get the QuickBooks stuff. Sorry, June 30th, 22-23 TB.
Yep,
And I'm gonna send you a list, we're gonna have the same issue this year for the audit, cause your beginning balances in QuickBooks don't tie to the audited financial statements anymore.
well, then we need to know why.
I have it all listed, I just haven't had time to summarize it and give it to you.
Okay,
What it looks like is happening is you give them a trial balance, you're still working, you give them you do a bunch of entries. They only have half of the entries. They have the big ones in the big accounts, but I can see there's other entries that you did to your TV that they don't have. And then they do adjustments to your trial balance to get some financials, and you're not booking those. So I didn't look at the balance sheet.
well, she gave me all the ones this year to book, and I booked them, and then she said, oh, but don't book these 3,
Okay,
because they're just the, GAST, is it?
Gas fees.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I don't have to book
I left
those.
those out.
But if you saw what she sent me, Joy,
I'll send you.
Natalie has to blow it up on the map machine,
Yeah,
cause we
it
can't
took
read
me
it.
about 8.5 hours to
Really?
reconcile everything, yeah. I'll just send you a summary.
Okay,
Well, it sounds like we're moving in the positive direction to
Yeah, I
finally
mean, if
get
you-
ourselves.
If you open 23, I know you have a new system, but if you open 23,
which I can,
put all that in and then tie it to their audited financial numbers, then
Mhm.
we have a good starting point for the next audit.
okay,
That's right, because you're doing all the adjustments, but you're working backwards a year for the audit.
But I'm looking at prior year,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
I also requested that we get a structured, Excel sheet or something that we can go by at the meeting, because we were coming up with it. I know you guys were coming up with it late too, that same day. So we were kind of workshopping it, these transfers
Oh,
in the
you
meeting.
mean-
Oh, the
Oh,
transfers,
And
yeah,
I'm
yes,
saying,
yes.
next year, if we know ahead of time, we can get it where it doesn't take an hour. It took a long time to get
Oh,
this.
you mean to get this data?
So literally, we were creating,
But we shouldn't have this issue next year, because if we're working a budget
okay,
off of
they
a new
shouldn't be as,
foundation.
drastic or as
Well,
many.
no, but there will be some,
some.
yeah.
There will
Oh,
be.
yeah, but he always comes.
But you're
in
right,
and says-
maybe there won't be 30, or
Right, maybe.
whatever it turned out. Right.
I thought it was gonna be a 10-minute meeting.
That's what we
weren't even gonna
thought.
have
We
a
didn't even
meeting,
really
we were
have a
gonna
meeting.
transfer a couple things and then we got the sheets.
Right.
I was like, oh man, we're gonna be here for a while.
And the other one is the non-lapsing, has that been created, non-lapsing account?
Didn't get that completed for tonight.
But it's in the works of
Yes,
securing
yes.
our money. Thank you.
All right. Somebody who was here, want to make a motion to,
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Matt, do we have a second? So you,
Yeah,
Joy?
second.
All right. Any further discussion on the agenda, the minutes? Not seeing any. If you were there and you want to vote, which is Rob, me, Matt, and Joy, say aye if you want to approve the minutes. Aye. You want to abstain, these guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Abstain.
Any opposed? I think we all voted yes. Okay, great. All right, I do have some correspondence. I got a letter from Board of Ed informing the Board of Finance that there are teacher negotiations coming up, starting here on Zoom if I can. Is this Zoom?
26th?
They're right there, yeah. Starting the 26th, October 9th, October 30, November 13th, and is that December 12th definitely happening or just if needed for mediation?
That's if needed for mediation.
Okay. And then they start at 3:30 or 4. I think you guys are trying to huddle at 3:30 and officially start at 4 over at the school. They've invited us to send a member to sit in, so what I would like to do is make a motion to add an item item A under new business for the Board of Ed teacher negotiations, and we'll come back to that. And,
So moved.
wait a second.
Second.
Second, Matt. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. So we'll just come back to it, but this is a correspondence I got later a while ago this afternoon. Alrighty. Under continuing business, we've got town and Board of Ed. We'll start with you, Chris, if you want.
So it is early with our September fund. I'm gonna work off this summary sheet mostly. Our biggest, we are in obviously healthy positions in everywhere except for transportation. That being the case, to start school, we had to outsource 2 runs. So we were paying a higher rate, much higher rate to outsource the 2 runs. We did settle our driver contract. Our hope is that we will have 2 new drivers come on board to off-ramp the outsourced runs that we have, and then, go back to everything internal. We do have 3 applications actually that Kerry has. So they are licensed drivers. It takes about 3 weeks to onboard if everything goes successful. So we could save some costs there. So our transportation is over there. That's where we're holding money. The other place we're holding money very conservatively is in utilities and plant operations, just on usage, obviously through September, and on what Eversource does with the rates. And the other place would be trash removal, which we move target as well. We have, last year, if you remember at this time, we were very conservative in terms of tuition, because we received a record number of special education students over the summer last year, so we had to hold a lot of that money. While that played out, we are in much better shape. I think Courtney's done a great job looking at efficiencies, and knock on wood, barring any new students moving into the district, we are in better shape with efficiencies there that we've had in tuition. We did have a record enrollment, at least in recent years, that I had gone back in terms of students adding since October 1 last year, we actually had, over the summer, we added 9 students at CES, but since last year, we added 17 students, that's not in this document. At BMS, we added 14 students from last year, that's a total of 31 students at BMS and CES from about this time last year. So that is a combination of 2 things. It's a combination of families moving into town and buying houses. It's also a combination of homeschool children returning to public school.
So you said you had 9 at CES, 14 at,
9, yep, so since June, so the end of the year, we had 9 at CES and we had 11 at BMS.
11.
Yep.
And then
Teachers union,
how did you do 31?
31 is if I take from a year ago, from when we opened school.
All right, this is just, okay.
Correct, yep, and then we also added, at the high school level, we added, 20 students since June, yep. Now, the good news is, the majority of these students have elected Norwich Tech, either Norwich Tech or Ellis Tech, which costs us no money, so,
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Hey, Chris, on the transportation, I don't see the expense in here.
Oh, anticipated reserve on, right,
I'm on the summary.
you're on the summary sheet?
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
didn't
get that
narrative
document.
sheets.
We
I didn't
didn't
get
get
that
that.
document.
Okay, I apologize for that, I thought I sent both over.
Sorry about that,
So let's look at.
because we only have this, tech, numbers looking.
What's the number gonna be compared to what you think the estimated number?
Well, I'll tell you right now, we are at, Michelle's projecting a reserve of 32,650. We're also working with a transportation consultant who's looking at the efficiencies of our routes and our operations and our drivers. And I expect that, again, I'm trying to stabilize the transportation situation that's been long ongoing. So she's forecasting 32,635.50 at the end of the year. Right now we're paying, so
You're gonna save, so you have 63.5 for your budget.
correct.
So she's thinking she's gonna save half of that?
Well, let me make sure I'm on the same lines that you are on. You are on this sheet,
Yeah,
you're on transportation contracted,
yeah.
so she's looking at 63,570 total transportation contracted, total tuition, travel expenses and staff reimbursements. Yeah, she budgeted 63,570 and forecasted balance of.
Savings of 27?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep,
I
now.
just didn't know how to read that.
Yep, correct, but that being said, the quicker we onboard 2 new drivers to Canterbury Public Schools, the better we're gonna be.
Right.
Because the outsource is so exorbitantly expensive, so.
Do you have applicants?
We have 3 applicants, so we just settled,
Yeah.
the driver contract.
Mhm.
We're a little bit ahead of the region. This is a problem everywhere, and, we're trying to cherry pick where we can and get licensed drivers that take way less time to go through the certification
Right.
process. So, it's usually about 3 weeks after they sign the papers for us, and I think we have 1 in process that's signed and 2 more that are in application process, so.
So this number goes lower the less you need that.
Correct, the less we have to outsource, I'll give you a scary number, all right? A scary number is Kerry had the call to possibly outsource some of our athletic runs if we needed to do that in the afternoon. And that could be just like bringing our soccer team to Putnam, and she's getting quotes of $400 to $600 per day to do that. That's untenable for us to do that. So the quicker we bring drivers in and rearrange, we will do that. We just can't simply afford to do that, so.
How are we doing on the security grants?
Security grant, the multimedia is complete, I believe, and the school safety, there's 2 parts, right, 2 grants. In the school safety, I think we're waiting on 2 more invoices, and then just, the handshake between the town hall and back to the school with Allison on our end, and we should be able to close those out.
Have we gotten any money back? This is not an incremental?
I think that, I think the multimedia is ready to go to the state, push the money back, and then the school security grant, we're waiting on vendors to complete 2 outstanding, punch item lists.
So your trash expense follows the town trash expense?
It does, the same vendor,
That's huge, that's almost $100,000.
so same vendor. And they're all over the place, the rates.
Yeah, wow.
Where's that from?
It's under utilities and trash removals, like right in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know.
We're looking to be 83
I'm gonna
grand
start a
short.
second
Yeah.
business.
83 under?
Well,
We're looking to be 83 under?
Over.
Which one are you on
Well,
here?
we're short 83.
Yeah,
You're on plant operations?
The
I'm on-
utility trash,
trash.
Utility trash one right in the middle.
83 negative.
What's Chris gonna be over?
Transportation, employee benefits, salaries.
Yeah, that's not really allowed, but we do live in Canterbury.
The one, you're talking about the 166.
Yeah, to the 2 and change.
That's a Michelle, I gotta get back to you. I can give.
Is that real though? Cause that looks, you know,
That number doesn't seem real to me, but a lot of numbers I've seen.
no, I mean, I
seem
guess
real
it
to
could
me.
be bad.
That number does not seem real, but let me double check with Michelle.
Very well could be.
So they've got, when is this as of? Lori, the one you gave us?
This was as of, the end of August, I believe.
August?
Yeah, August 31st. It was.
So it's 2 months?
How does that align, how does mine
15
align
grand?
in town?
What line number is it in the town?
1,700.
What are you looking at?
So if it's 15,
Oh, well,
I'm
that
looking-
number is, yeah, so that number is right, it's the combination of utilities and trash removal.
oh, okay.
That's why that's 166. So, now, on that piece, the previous, I think Steve had done the LED, changeover, at both buildings, and they just completed that last year. There's a loan on that, so we're flat, but we haven't realized the savings yet that we should on those 2 pieces for utilities. So I think Michelle forecasted the worst case scenarios on utilities, electric bill, and Eversource, depending on their rates. But theoretically, with the LED installation, that number should go down.
Lori, do you know what your number is for utilities?
Ooh,
Or
Oh, you're asking me?
town? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so if I look at the towns, they're running about 15 grand a month, so it's 180,000 a year. So if you've got utilities and trash removal in there, that would mean whatever the difference is your utilities. I just wanted to see if that makes sense. It's all right, it's early.
it's early, and I can
Yeah,
get
we
you
have
that.
about 30.
You're at what?
We budgeted 30.
30,000 for utilities for the year?
That's what this says.
What number is it?
4-0612 and 0613.
Oh, that's not on here.
0612.
Oh, 1, 2, sorry, yeah.
Electricity and 0613 heating, right below it. So
Yeah.
30 total.
So it's about 5,500 a month. I'm sorry, this is 2 months worth of data of information.
It's about 2 months.
So say it's $3 grand a month.
So this budget actuals that we got, that he's looking at, it's actually June, July and August?
It's just July and August.
Okay, July and
2
August.
months. 2 months, which
Yeah, can you just double check that?
you got some more?
I'm asking Chris, I'm taking the towns and I'm extrapolating it.
And you're
and
saying theirs sounds
annualizing
high.
it and saying, yeah, their utilities are 3,000 a month.
Yeah.
School's a little different, obviously, there's 2 big,
Yep, so I will,
heating and,
I will double check that, and I'll also.
But if you're saying she took all of the worst case scenario factors and plugged that in, that could
Correct, I
be
think
how
she's
she
just
got
hedging her
there.
bets on utilities.
okay.
Yeah, I think she's just hedging her bets on utilities.
Which is what we really want people to do on the
Correct.
side, so that we know if we're
So we
going
get
off the
closer.
rails
Well, you
early.
can hedge all you want, just stay within your budget.
Oh, we'll be there. We'll be there. I have no choice but to do that.
But we wanna know in September, not in February, or March.
Yeah, and it's early, and I'll have the usage rates for you, in October, and I'll know what our usage was for each month, and we can kind of predict from
Yeah,
there.
and once the weather changes, it's going to change.
Correct.
Anything more for Chris on the budget side?
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Did everything start well at the school year?
We did, we had, the last 2 weeks of school, we had close to 20 students, the last 2 weeks of the summer, close to 20 students enrolled, so when Carrie was done with her initial routes for the buses, she had to put 20 more kids into those routes, so we had, some of the first 3 days, those routes were longer than expected. We're also working with that consultant to try to make those routes more efficient and more timely and save some money there as well. That's, that was a curveball we got at the last moment. It's a good thing that our enrollments are going up, or it presents some challenges to us that we want to
Why is
be
it a good thing that your enrollment is going up?
because it means that our enrollments were going down for years,
Right.
right? So now scores are going up, our enrollments are going up to a point. We don't want to outgrow the building, we don't want to outgrow the teachers that we have. So we have to look at the efficiencies in which we have, but we want to make sure that we're servicing all of our students.
You're right.
And can keep our schools open,
Thank you.
of course.
All right, so Lori's got us a, P&L for 2 months. Which if you divide 2 by 12, it's 16-ish, 17%.
Just a couple comments, there's no revenue on it, right?
Correct.
Mm.
Patty and I have been playing with the new QuickBooks, trying to memorize reports.
Yeah.
She uses this one.
Oh, and you.
I never use this one.
Okay.
I chose her report over my normal report this time.
Well,
And it's,
is there a report that shows what period it is? Cause this report, obviously, we're not gonna look at this one anymore. This doesn't tell me when it's as of.
I think it said
No,
down
she-
somewhere,
the
Well, you
other
just
one,
said-
my normal
in
report
this,
does.
September 4th, there's a date.
Yeah, that's when she printed it.
So it could be a.
Right, so
full-
generally, it's to the month prior.
Okay.
So you're saying that
But
this
it
one is
says for the
actually
full year,
June,
so we don't
and July
really
and
know.
August?
Yeah.
She said this was July and August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so you have a different report next time with the
Yes,
revenue?
and it will be the full report with the income and the
Similar
expense.
to how we've seen,
No, what you always got. Yeah,
that's what
I just,
okay.
we started memorizing them because for budget season, the library says we want our budget. And it's just nice to be able to give them theirs.
And then there's a couple on here that, are fully expensed
Yes.
to budget. I'm not familiar, I'm
Are
very
you looking
familiar
at-
with all your accounts now, but I'm not familiar about what they mean.
Are you looking at like the selectmen's expense?
Yeah, why is that at 80?
Okay, that's where a lot of our cemetery mowing goes.
So it's seasonal,
Yes,
that's what you're saying?
that's what a lot of the money goes into there.
Yeah, anything higher than 17% is spending faster than you might expect.
Correct.
Less than
Correct.
less.
But cemetery mowing now, we're gonna have just the other half of it in the spring, and he's already at 86%.
Right, I'll have to look and see what else is in there, Jeanette. I
Okay.
don't know. off the
And
top of
like
my
data
head.
processing is almost fully,
And assessor's expense
total, yeah.
is 66%. Is that because of tax time and reval, or what? Do you
I'm
know?
not really sure what, maybe she buys certain amount of stuff at the beginning of the year. I'm not really sure, I have to look.
Okay.
The reval though is just that, they paid it.
It's already done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one, data processing is up to spending 78%.
What line's that?
That's on page 2, fourth one down, 06.
Yep.
05.
Yes, I will have to look at that because we are also getting all new computers. So I don't know where that came out of, unless it's already been taken out of there. It could already have been taken out of there.
Oh, that 35 might represent the purchase of the computers?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they're coming this week. so
Midway down, Kerma,
that's our
You don't
insurance.
capitalize that? You don't capitalize that? It's not a CIP item? That wasn't on our list, was it?
no, that was not in CIP. But that's a good point, why wasn't that?
I mean, our computers
I'm
are
glad you're
capitalized.
getting new computers.
Yeah,
Those give you more
absolutely.
Oh,
cash.
that's undisputed.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
keep
because
it
they're
more-
gonna, they're gonna go over
Yeah,
10 grand.
Yeah,
to
they
get-
have 4 or 5 year lifespan, so. At least.
All right, so that would be a question for Chris, right?
Yes, that was Chris.
So the question is
Did he
where,
head out, do we know? Did he go home?
Well, he
He's probably
wasn't
outside
feeling
talking.
too hot.
Okay,
that
I know
he's
he had the
having a lot of
thing.
issues with his neck.
Okay, so then he may have
Something.
went. So we shouldn't expect him.
No, it's early still too, so.
okay, that's just a question for next time, where the
Yeah,
computer
I-
money
I'll
come
look
from?
that up.
Why not CIP?
How does the dog pound expense work? It's fully expensed.
Because we pay somebody
Hey,
else.
to the region, right?
Right
Oh,
up
it goes
front.
to the region.
Yeah.
Okay,
Per capita or something.
okay.
Library is up to 28%. EMS staffing, we're at 30% on it.
That one's always a problem.
Are there 2 lines for that one?
One's
I don't know if
EMS
they
staffing
changed
and
that.
one's.
Paid and
AES
staff, and I
staff.
feel like they're both going to sort of the same
Oh,
thing.
boy.
So it might be that one
Going
line is
fast.
being pulled faster
All right, EMS
than
staffing.
once it's
But
done,
EMS
it's
is
also
different.
done.
You know, you're right.
I think it's essentially the same.
But I thought we discussed it last year,
Yeah.
or at the last meeting, that we were gonna think about combining those
Correct.
two.
Yeah,
But that may be why it's at 13, because if you take half of that, you're on pace.
yeah.
If you take both lines and add them together, you're about half that.
Mhm.
Are we paying ambulance staff?
That's the paid staff that's covering 95 and weekends.
Oh, I
if they do
see
that,
what
or-
you're saying, EMS, okay. So combine the two.
Yeah, because one was to stand the hours and one was to
Something like
carry
that.
the hours. Okay, the 27% on page, I think I'm on the 4th page, municipal agency activities.
Senior activities,
Are they just running a lot this time around?
I think she's doing more. Karen,
No,
No, I know they
she's
have,
very active, but I was just wondering if that's why.
I wonder if they do stuff more when it's not as
Oh,
cold.
you got a
and
new van.
quiet down in the winter.
Is
maybe.
it van registered?
Are they doing the van?
I think the bands are, I think it's registered, I'm not sure.
yeah.
It is.
Do we have a driver? Do they use it?
It's awful nice, I mean,
Maybe we could use it, just have a meeting at a different person's house each week.
Can you come pick
I'll
us
host
up on the
first.
way?
We'll get you a hat, Mike.
I would need a license first. You probably need
You don't need a license
No,
for
it's
that.
big van.
You don't need a
No.
commercial license?
No.
no, it's like driving a U-Haul.
Oh, well, I can't do
Your-
that either.
Your car, your truck is bigger than
No,
that.
probably. Well, but refuse disposal's at 9.3 whatever, which is lower than 17, so that sounds better, maybe. Right?
I don't have last year's budget in front of me to know what we budgeted the
We
previous.
bumped it up a lot.
He did?
Yeah, he bumped it up a
Yeah,
lot.
he
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Because we had to add money last year.
Yeah,
Hmm,
yeah. He bumped it up a
and
lot.
maybe
for
he's
this one.
anticipating them to bump us again.
so
Who
maybe,
knows?
yeah, okay.
On the 2 pages past that, on the balance sheet, so, 1499. Second page of the balance sheets, third one down.
$14.99?
Yeah, it says undeposited funds, $4,500, what's that?
It's just stuff that hasn't been moved over into an account to be deposited yet. I'll have to look and see what's sitting in there.
So,
That's right. below.
how does that work? You
1, 2,
take money
8,
in, you throw it somewhere, so you at least account for it, and then
Oh, there it is.
Yes, and
Categorize
then
it
when I,
so
yeah.
they're uncategorized yet.
No, they're categorized, it's just, I have to put them into the account, and then when I balance, it'll be in the account.
So it's,
balance.
when all the money comes in, it goes into what, a clearing account,
That's what I meant, yeah.
Yes,
and then it gets reallocated out to where it goes.
Yeah, so you at least have a place to put it. What's halfway down? 1, 2, 1, 3, allowance for doubtful.
That's the uncollectible balances for delinquencies. They have to put something up.
And they, I believe it's been the same for years. They always keep the same amount.
How long has due from cafeteria been on there? Oh, it's next.
Since I came.
And it's, we owe them?
What's that one?
That's a negative asset.
Yeah, I would have to ask the CPAs about that. That's been on there since,
What one did you point out, Joey?
It's 1290 now.
Up a bit from where we were. Who's cafeteria?
Yeah,
Oh,
and we owe them 10 grand.
That's a good deal.
it's a lot of raw.
Do you know anything about that?
No, what's the question?
if it was
The only
there before,
cafeteria,
we didn't have
the only
to-
cafeteria in town.
Well, you might know their
Except for in your
system.
buildings.
It's been on our books for years.
Yeah.
It would have nothing to do
Well,
with their
there
system.
was a years ago, that the cafeteria came up short, that we had to cover their fund.
I got you.
And I don't know if that is what that
Just a
is.
holdover that's just been contract.
I don't know why it's still running a
Yeah.
negative on our books if we had the money to pay for it
Yeah,
out
I
of our
don't know
general
why.
fund.
It's still on there.
There was a time they came up big short. So. Okay, do you know if Mr. Liquor Bottle Collector is doing anything with that money yet?
No, we haven't done anything with that money.
25 grand in there.
That's a lot of nips.
And I have to tell you, every single time I go into that plaza, I step on one
Yeah, there's.
when I get out of my car, and it irritates me.
But that's okay, you can pick it up and can you return it or not?
Nope, they're not returnable.
Non-returnable.
They're straight up just fees.
That's right there.
We gotta pay 10 cents for you to pick that up.
That is such a
But the,
It
counterintuitive way.
is, it is.
package
almost
store
like
has
it's about
to
the money,
transfer
not
that,
the
right?
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and they give us the
It
money,
is.
but we need
If
to
it was
spend it
returnable,
on
you could at least
something.
pretend,
Yeah.
or get a bag for it when we go up to the grocery store or liquor
I
store.
don't know. I don't
That
know.
money does need to be put towards environmental stuff or cleanup or something.
Oh, here he is now.
He should've got out of here while he could.
Well, I wanted to make sure the doors were all locked, just because,
I
yeah.
told him I didn't know if you were coming.
Do you, you feel up to some questions? I know you weren't feeling so good.
No, I gotta shut the door so we don't get mosquitoes in.
So
We
he's
got a
gonna
lot
go,
of triple
he's gonna
E.
go out with it.
Yeah, you get 2 questions. Make
Thank
it
you,
good.
Chris.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your nipper bottles?
Wants to know
I
what
don't
we're
know if
gonna
we
do
need
with
that
that money.
No, we're only getting two, we'll ask for different ones.
Yeah,
What about the computers? Wanna go with that one?
that's a better
Yeah.
computer.
Okay, where's the computer, you're getting all the computers,
Yeah.
where's that money coming out of?
ARPA.
Yeah, but what
Okay.
line in the budget?
We have money in the ARPA that we appropriated for town hall improvements. That's falling under that.
Oh, so
So
that
that's
my
why it doesn't
answer
have to
was
go
wrong.
CIP.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
the reason the question was on data processing, it's 78% spent already.
Yeah, and some of that is because those are annual subscriptions that we pay off at the first installment for different mapping services that we use that fall under that. I've been saying for years, I think it's been falling on deaf ears, I would actually like to break that data processing down so that we could have lines that would say, okay, this is our monthly cost for Kelser for managed service, this is for, Vision, this is for tie and bond, whatever. But some of those are annual subscriptions that we pay in one shot.
So since you used ARPA money,
Yeah.
that's why you didn't have to go CIP?
Correct.
Yeah, all right, one more
I
question.
couldn't answer that one.
It's all right. That's it, those are the two.
No,
All right.
that was
No,
one.
That was one question.
No, 2 per person.
That was a
Yeah,
multi-
no, not
that
two
was-
per person.
That was one multi-part question.
Yeah.
Do you wanna ask about the
Wow.
staffing?
I mean,
For the cafeteria.
there's 2 lines of EMS, they're basically the same, right?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
and one line is looking like it's spending twice as fast, but it's
Yeah.
okay because you haven't pulled any.
because we haven't pulled out the other one, and we broke that out when we started funding more for EMS a few years ago. One of those lines is actually, I believe, represents the
An expansion.
The money, it represents the money from the PRA
Oh,
plan, and then the other one was the expansion of hours that we're paying for EMS, so, yeah. All right,
maybe later we'll combine them. We've never done
yeah,
that.
at some point maybe, yeah, but, yeah,
All right, get out of here.
nah, I'm done, yeah.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
Good night, Chris.
What are you doing with your liquor bottle?
Oh, working on it.
After the liquor bottle one, there's 2132, W/H, negative 1,300. What is W/H?
What number?
2132.
-213.
It's on page 3 of 5, the last section. It's right in the middle, 2-2132.
That is federal withholding,
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that's all payroll stuff.
we've gotten $3,300 in community room rentals?
That's the blood drive.
We
isn't
don't,
it?
we don't,
Do we donate for the blood drive?
zero that account out anymore. We moved it so that.
That's an offline account, to build money in that
Right,
account for this.
right, so that, like, when we needed the new fridge, that's where the money came from. Whereas if we leave it in the P and L, that gets wiped out every year.
Yeah.
So we moved it to another account so that the money just keeps building.
On the next page, 2992. Due to non-recurring historical fund,
Okay, that is money, that's how we have to move money between the general fund and the CIP. That's what that is. Because all of our bills technically get paid through the general fund, we don't have a bank account for the CIP. So we
okay,
do transfers in and out.
so when
That's
you
what
need
that is.
CIP draw, you go into there and.
Yeah.
Okay. And open space, there's $144, $144,000 in there. That comes out of zoning.
Joy might be able to explain maybe a little bit more what
I'm just
open
wondering if we're
space
doing
is.
anything with it, I understand.
I don't-
Used to buy
It's money in lieu of open space when somebody does a
the
subdivision.
penalty.
Yeah. If you do a subdivision, the regulations say you have to have so much designated as an open space based on that. And
It's also, people pay.
unacceptably, they allow the developers to say, we'll pay you money instead of giving the open space, which kind of negated the ecological balance of it. So that's what that money is.
Well, theoretically, use it to purchase open space to
Yeah,
offset
but
that.
I'm wondering from our point of view, when he talks about developing over the suck fields and all that stuff over there, why isn't this money used for that?
It sounds like this is the creation of new open space, not maintenance or whatever existing open. So if there's
Expansion of it or something?
if it grew, right, or if there's a new space, I could see it going for that.
Okay.
And is this 20 years of money, or is this 1 year money, and are we using it?
No, it's not 1 year of money.
But I feel like
It happened when they did it
If
up
it's
there.
in lieu of open space, we ought to be using it to buy open space,
We can buy for $120.
because it's then then it's our fault for not getting that open space if we're taking money in lieu of it. In my opinion.
Yeah, this was a deal that was cut with developers that came.
Well, it's anybody, right?
Anybody
It's kind of
can
written
tap,
into the thing.
But they don't necessarily get it granted. It's like, it goes
Right.
like, what the development looks like and what the profile is.
Right.
Because they were supposed to leave open space,
And then some actually do, like the river has that spot that they got
they
an
gave behind, yeah.
easement behind it or whatever. Not an easement, but probably a transfer behind it. On
Over in Little River.
Little River, what road is that?
When he wants to build
There's like an accessible trail.
he wants to build the whole walkway and he has a grand plan.
But that was gonna be, grant monies and stuff.
Yeah, but they got the land through the open
Yeah.
space. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then so
Yes.
developing that would be through a grant, yeah. I think there was reporting on that.
Okay, further down, there's 2400. And we just did community rentals of 3,300, but then you have rental of community room for 29.
Yeah, they probably need to be combined. What was the other number you said?
On the page before it, it's towards the bottom, 3046, community room rentals.
2-3046?
Yup, on
Yes,
page 3 of
yeah,
5.
that's what needs to happen. I need to combine those two.
So we really have 5 grand in there,
Yeah,
minus a fridge.
well, we already bought the fridge
Oh.
last year. I think it was, last year, the year before.
Okay, and when, on the last page, third one down, 3013, reserve for next year, that's our general fund? Is that what?
Wait,
What is it, three what?
The last page, 3013, reserve for next year. Is that what we're sitting with our?
I mean, that sounds low.
I'm not sure
No,
what that
the
is.
unassigned is right here.
Is that,
Unassigned.
Is that our general fund?
Our
Unassigned
The
balance?
is that our
unassigned
unassigned fund
balances.
balance?
Well, it's the fund balance.
It's unaudited
Two,
amount.
3010. I'm sorry, total unassigned is 227.
2.2 million.
Oh, yeah, the unassigned fund balance is 2 million, but what is the reserve for next year? That's a question.
I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look.
Thank you.
It's a assigned fund balance, so it's allocated. I don't know what it's for.
Or if that number's ever changed.
Is it just something left over from some other bookkeeping?
Well, we'll have to find out.
Yeah. I bet you're finding out a lot of things in there.
Well, we did when we switched over.
Yeah?
Because you're looking at a lot of it that maybe hasn't been looked at. 'cause you're
Well,
not-
and we found out that the migration wasn't as desirable as we thought it was gonna be.
It never is.
And the only reason I found that out is I'm doing it at another job. And they're telling me at QuickBooks, oh, you need to condense your file. And my supervisor's saying, what are they talking about? So now we have to pick a date to condense our file back to, which means you're gonna lose your detail.
Here? Or?
No, we weren't even asked that here,
Oh.
Jeanette. The migration here was as hokey as it could have been.
But like
I
you
shouldn't
say-
say that, but it was.
You're probably, like you say, Joe, you're probably finding things that have never been touched.
Haven't been looked at
You
in a
didn't have
while.
to look at them because you never needed them, and all of a sudden, what are they doing there?
Well, and we never had a CPA on the board either.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
I know.
We'll wait till I send her the summary of all the.
I was
numbers.
trying to read her intonation, and it wasn't working.
Well, I think it's a good thing, so.
I do.
I do.
I do,
Absolutely.
because when I don't understand, I go,
Your
Joy.
turn.
I will defer to Joy on that. Thank you, good luck.
This is great, thank you. Any other questions for Lori? Alrighty, let's go to.
Thank you, Lori.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Thanks,
Chris.
Laura.
Let's go to, new business item A is the teacher negotiations. Where did I put that? And really, it's just a matter of whether anyone's interested in whether we want to appoint a board representative. My understanding is they're an observer only, is this true? Okay, so that would be the constraints. And, if you can make most of these, I don't think you need to commit to all of them. Are there any other constraints? They can report out or no?
You can report out, they can observe,
So it's basically thoughts and feelings. I mean, it's like, how's it going? Oh, it's heated, or it's smooth, or.
It's transparency as we go through the process, so that, you're not, we're not gonna come to you after the fact and say, this is the settlement, so it's prudent to have someone from the Board of Finance on that negotiation committee.
Yeah, but we can't have them the day after come in and tell us like
Correct.
movements and all this.
Correct.
and whatnot.
On
So-
silence until that
So,
negotiation.
from my point of view, I would not be good with the cone of silence.
Oh,
I wouldn't.
I know.
So is it one of these like,
She's honest.
we shouldn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
ask for,
I wouldn't be.
whoever went, we shouldn't even
I'd be in that meeting.
expect or
telling
ask
them.
any reports at all?
Correct.
It's not even like, did you meet? And they say, we can't
Well,
speak about that.
we would meet on these dates.
I mean, whatever, if somebody wants to do it, let me know.
I did it once, I'm not available on those days.
I can't be
A
available.
couple of these are on our meeting nights.
Yeah, a couple of them. I can't
Oh,
make.
Well, it's at 3 o'clock.
earlier
Oh,
on?
there's three?
4 o'clock, sorry, 4.
Four, oh, there's four.
Are they on our meeting dates
Yeah.
for sure? Oh,
I've
the
heard
rest?
stories that they go long into the night sometimes.
As they
Oh,
get longer into your negotiations.
it depends how good the negotiations go. I mean, I've been on them, on the other side of the table where most of them have been, relatively
Some do go on.
seamless, yeah. Some can get contentious and go late into the night. I have not had that experience in my career, where they've gone late into the night, but they can be timely for sure.
I do October 9th. I need to see one.
Can you do
Are
the
you
26th?
serious?
You wanna do?
I went through one.
I mean, if,
Well, the
we can't talk
26th
about
is
it
just
until
gonna be,
it's-
hello, these
is
are
the
our
26th
rules.
necessary? Would you say we can skip that? Or is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, the 26th would just be, hello, this is our panel, that's your panel, these are the parameters.
So the
that's
business
it.
would start on the next one.
Correct.
Matt, you wanna take the helm here? And you can do as many as you can do.
I'm gonna pump you for information then.
I'll do the 9th.
I-
Try the 9th.
Well, you're the representative. You can go the 9th and say I'm out.
I'm the representative, I can't say anything.
No, you're the observer, the Board of Finance, observer.
Sit there with a
Like, you're like,
notepad, make
you
them
win.
worry.
Just a single, like, we can't rotate them.
Oh, no, we could.
I'm just wondering, like,
If-
yeah,
if
I'm
we could-
available one day
We could
or
make
whatever.
either or, you guys. We could
Both of
say,
us did it last time and we alternated because we couldn't make all of them. So we each sat in and filled each other in on what had happened
is
the
there,
last time.
what if they both showed up? You got 2 seats?
I can find a seat.
Cause, how about we make both of these guys the representatives and then you
And
guys work
between
it
them,
out?
they can figure
I
it
know I
out.
can't do the 30th.
But see, just do what you
Yeah,
can, do
yeah.
what you can do.
Okay, but I suggest that you go with a notepad,
Do we have any
sit together, just
control over
learn,
that to begin
take
with?
copious notes of nothing,
Nope,
and then intimidate them.
we don't, Board of Finance doesn't.
Last time
Good
we
at drawing
got,
pictures.
last time,
So, yeah, why don't you tell about your
Yeah,
experience?
leave your
we
phone
got
on.
a binder, one binder, and we had to share
I
it
use the
with
tracking
each other.
Fine,
With all the demands in it.
from the teacher side, or from the union side.
I'll be like in the expressive one in the debate last night.
5 minutes later, I go back up and I put.
Yeah, we got a binder, and it had all of the negotiations.
Oh, read, I was thinking, Steve, read.
Steve, yes, Steve did.
I was.
But he only
thinking-
gave us
I was
one,
looking further back.
and we couldn't show it to anybody, we could only transfer it to each other.
Okay, okay.
Do you remember that?
The blood opener. That's so weird, I know, it's.
Ready for these other.
All right,
I'd like to see this.
I make a
it's
motion to
security.
appoint Matt and Jason as the Board of Finance representatives to observe the, teacher negotiations.
I second that.
Jeanette seconds it. For point of discussion, I just say, look, up to you guys to work out what, go to what you can,
Yeah.
glean what you can glean.
Wink at us when you know
Oh,
something.
no.
That's right.
And,
I'll meet you in the parking lot later.
try to get all of Louisiana, the whole thing.
That's it.
Okay, any further discussion on it?
All the way.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Perfect. Are there communications that you would include them on, or they just show up?
Or if there's just scheduling changes and date changes and things like that,
Okay.
so.
You can either let them know directly, or I'd be a proxy for you,
I
if you need to make updates to it.
Both ways will work.
Keep it low.
So it's,
Your salaries are already way up there. Keep them low.
I'll send the dates, I'll confirm the dates back out. I don't know, did I send this out? No, I just
Negotiate
got it
that,
today. so-
I think that's-
Hey, you're coming out of retirement.
Yes,
And you get a bus driver.
No. That's why I never substituted.
what did you teach, Jeanette?
I was the art teacher.
Really?
Another down at the floor.
24 years at the high school, 10 years at the elementary school.
Fly.
So I had everything from, hey, this is new day, my girlfriend's pregnant, to, I wet my pants. So I had everything. And me going, what'd you do, stupid? To, now you're wet.
All right, moving on to public comment. Let me just check, I don't see any Zoom chat of public comment from this side of the room. I don't see any.
No, that doesn't go
Come
in.
back.
You wanna check around there? Anyway, moving on to adjournment.
So moved.
Make a motion.
Jeanette, seconded, Matt, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is
Oh.
8.
Thank you, folks. We're getting good at this. We covered a lot of ground.
Thank you,
Oh,
everyone.
just stop in sometime, I'm always there.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
I don't make it much.